All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. First up, Margaret. Authorization to make the budget and program changes for 2023 and 2024 action plan for the city's 5-year consolidated plan.
Yes, sir. So we are asking for authorization to cancel a program from program year 2023, the Community Development Block Program, and to reallocate those funds to a PY24 CDBG program.
I make that motion.
Second. All in favor? I like y'all. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Let's pay.
Fantastic.
You got it, Margaret.
Okay, and so this is based off that motion that you just approved. This is to amend a contract with Habitat for Humanity to add an additional $100,000 to their rehabilitation
I
contract.
make the motion.
Second.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed.
All right.
All right. Agenda item number 3. Heather. Rolling.
All right, good evening. So the first item
Yep.
that we have is to amend our agreement with Turning Point for 2023 ESG funds. We received a request from the executive director to deobligate their contract by $3,000 to give it to temporary emergency services. So that,
Second.
okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
And so the next one would be to amend temporary emergency
I make the motion.
services.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the last item is, so the city received an award for the Springer Estates property from the National Community Development Association. It is the Audrey Nelson Award. That is a project we did with the Housing Authority, about $7.3 million worth of funds between the city and the Housing Authority. And I just wanted to show the award that we won. We presented the project in DC on the 7th, and we received this award. So just wanted to let the committee know about it.
Yeah, congratulations.
Good. All right. Facelift. Do we have any
Yes.
presentations for that? Bring you up. Okay.
Sir, Councilman Lanier, you will see, Food and Fuels hand these out. We have our handy cheat sheet with a couple of updates. Only minor, you did have one application drop out, which is listed as number 22. So you have a total of 33 at this point. So we're here to answer any questions. You do have some members here that have applied. At this point, every application has been checked and should be eligible both for activity and any kind of compliance issues, so they all meet the intent of the program. We're happy to answer any potential questions. Like I said, there are some applicants here. Do note that in your requested amount column, not every applicant has requested the full dollar amount, so do note that.
Right.
And Liz and myself will scribe the dollar amounts to keep up as we go.
I don't know exactly. What I did, I had a top 10, my top
Perfect.
10, and I'm just ready to turn it into, are we gonna have someone that will go through?
Yeah. How do we?
And like whoever, from each council person will have their, will have their preferences, and we need to turn it into, say, you and Liz, and tally it up and
What I
see.
think we could do is go through each one and make sure from a tally standpoint we're within budget, and then you can motion and approve each one, and then it would just move kind of traditionally toward council and then go toward a development agreement once approved at council. So
This is just my suggestion, is that we take everyone's preferences today
okay,
and not actually make a decision today, but take everyone's preferences, and then can we do that?
yes, of course, yes, sir.
And because there's no way we could actually have this all done before city council meeting starts at 6.
Correct.
So, like I said, I made out my list of my top 10, and
When is it supposed to go to council? Today.
Well, that would be the question if you choose, and that would be the only thing I would say from rules of procedures. We don't meet on the 4th, so then it would just be a question: do you want to roll it to the next meeting to finalize, or do you want to use a different committee meeting for that? That would be up to council.
from OCA standpoint, just a reminder, since we're following this through the full 772 process, we will need a break between, and there may be one naturally if it's the 4th, but between committee and council, so we know which ones to publish following a week in advance for 772.
So
Is there a rush to get through this?
I'm sure they're in a rush.
I mean, I'm sure they are, but I mean,
I was just kind of under the
We wanna get it
impression
right.
that, from what we did last week, that each councilman would have their list of their priorities, and then it would be kind of tabulated to see who comes out on top.
And we can absolutely 100% can do that, Counselor, and structure that in a way. The only thing I would just to Mr. Holmes's point is just make sure we know which next agenda you want to place on, because there is a week of advertising that we want to make sure we meet as well. So, and if it would CD.
Because what I see
Randy,
going on is, I think we had a cap and the total doubled that.
Yeah.
And so maybe I guess we will have to award a certain amount. It may not be the amount they asked for or something like that if we have
And
to.
that's possible too. I would say the only consideration I would apply to ones if they're at the maximum amount for a contribution is we do want to make sure that they're still, the project would still be eligible if they're not awarded the full amount, to be fair to the applicant.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But I think Council President Tyner's direction works totally fine for us. I mean, we could tally it up, run it. I just would want to make sure we know which committee meeting to put that on next, and we can run through the process.
So does it have to be on CDBG or can it
We
be on
could-
projects?
yeah.
or
It could be
something
on
like
projects. That would be at
That's
the
what I was
committee
thinking.
chair's discretion. The only thing that would concern me if we go to CD, we would roll to that next one in March, which would be almost a month.
that? Yeah. No.
And that was the 18th, right? And that
I
would
wanna
be,
get it
then you would
CDBG.
advertise the 25th, then you're already in April. That would be my only concern.
I would prefer to, the sooner the better to go to projects.
Yeah, I gotta be-
If Councilor Crowe was fine with that, we could easily do that.
He
He
is.
is.
Perfect.
He will be.
If y'all want to run through, we can,
Run through.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, you don't have to go, if you have a preference, some of these are district specific, I know they're represented, and some.
I don't have any of
I
my.
was gonna say, I don't think you do, and I
I
know
don't.
Councilor Wilson, Councilor Busby, Councilor Lanier,
The majority
Councilor Howard.
are in District 1 and 4, and District 4 person is not in there. I said the majority.
Yeah.
But I did go through that. I went through every one.
I did too.
And then I didn't even notice which districts they're in, but I think once I went back and looked, I'm pretty evenly distributed with 1, 4, and 7, and 2. I know I've got those 4 districts among my top 10, and Mr. Fell just gave me his recommendation as well. So we, the 2 of us are done, so we can hand it off to.
And I just did,
Staff.
particularly my district, I did not go all over. But if we need to, I mean,
I mean, I looked at
can
all
leave
of them, but I'm definitely
I
district
was
first.
just, I was just specific towards my district, like I did my priorities in my district. That's how I looked at it.
Well, like I said, myself and Mr. Crowe, we didn't have any, and but that's why I went through every single one, and I think among my 10, it's evenly split.
So if he goes to project, would he go to project next week? And then we have a week break and then we come back and vote on it? how's
If
that
it got
work,
out of
Scott?
committee on the 25th, I think it could probably go on the 11th, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, if y'all came out with a final recommendation of what applicants were getting what amounts, we'll need that to publish. And so if that was determined next week, we have to publish it a week in advance. The election being an off week for council, that would allow us to publish that week and then go the week of the 11th to full council.
On mine, I've got over 100,000, I think, among the 10. But again, I just think
The issue
everybody would have their
Cap and the
list again.
amount.
Yeah.
So
that's the real issue. So if we have to split them up, I mean, we gotta see, are those projects still eligible to be done?
And I,
With the amount that's considered.
I feel like, just speaking without really knowing this true, and I think that this won't be the last year. I think it's so popular that it'll probably roll over. If someone didn't make the cut this time, it's like resurfacing. You know, you'll stay on that list and we'll come back next year. That's just what I feel like will happen.
I like
And
that
there's an
idea.
eligibility
You like that?
component to where we can do that if council directs.
Yeah.
You know, I will echo your comments, Council President Tyner, that I think in a positive way, Liz and I were both surprised by the volume. I mean, that's after we were up close to 40 and you have a couple drop out, a couple change their mind, and you're sitting firm at 33 applications. So that's a really, really good number for a first
I
program.
think so too.
I mean, I
And,
think it's a little more popular maybe than we expected,
yeah,
in a good way.
So-
There are some, businesses that may need more than others. For instance, I'm gonna use one of mine, it's Thomas Rib Shack, that only asks for, $5,899. That's why I really just went specific to my district, but if we wanna just do the whole thing, I would ask for some more time
yeah,
to be able to do that.
that's what we're doing. And I think but I think we need to get a list to Liz and Brendan as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, if we discuss it in projects and probably go over it, Norman, man, he probably wanna, his input, but, if we
So
discuss it in project next week, come back on the 11th, vote on it. But I think we need to go over these numbers, cause that's gonna be an issue.
So do we need to submit our recommendations to Brendan or to the chair?
You know, I would suggest, that's what I would suggest,
I
because
like
like,
this.
you know, Cassius, I don't think it's fair to put him on, to tabulate.
Uh-huh.
And I think,
Yeah, I ain't scared, though.
I know,
But I'm just saying.
but since it's
whatever
next,
we
it's gonna
gotta
go to
do.
projects, you know, so I would rather see everybody give this is just me,
Yeah, I get it.
information to Brendan and Liz and let them come back to us and say, here's what y'all all had in your list, and then,
So maybe bringing
Let's
that
go.
back on the 25th, and I'm making this up, but here's X applications, here are the applications with the total amount
Yeah.
and budget, then vote from
And
there.
then, yeah.
and then we'll have then it'll be condensed more, and then the council can decide.
Mr. Holmes, is there any 772 issues with that? I just wanna make sure before.
No, as long as whatever y'all are, because any of the actions of the committee are just recommendations to full council. So as long as we have a week before full council where we know what is coming out to publish, because if the debate goes to full council, then we won't be able to publish, so we'd have to come back and publish again. So as long as it's decided in committee, we have a chance to
Yeah,
publish
that's what
that
we wanna do.
decision
We
and
wanna
go to
decide
council.
the project.
Yes.
And then by the time we go to full council, we just vote on it.
And I will, since I'm on the microphone currently, I will save Ms. Johnson having to get in. I think the proper thing to do will be for this committee to move to table this to next week's projects committee.
Okay, I'll make a
I
motion.
got a question.
Okay.
So how will we let the businesses know, when we're coming back, so that we will maximize their time and come?
We'll come back next project.
It would be projects,
project.
25th at 2:30. I will note, we do have a lot of applicants in here, so if you do have any questions on applications or clarifications, I see a lot of familiar faces and people out there, business owners in our community, so if there is anything you want clarified, they are here, not required to give a presentation, but here to answer questions associated with their application, so.
Okay,
I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So do we need to make a motion to table
Table.
and then we,
I'll make a motion table to projects on 25th.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Alright. Table to projects, 25th at 2:30. On council, March 11th. Alright. So, any other?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.